the Fanatical Elfz Show, part of the Elfz Network. We are a bunch of wild and crazy Cleveland Browns fans, bringing you all the latest in Browns news. Tune in now. And good evening. It's the Fanatical Elfz Show. I'm John Suchan. That is Steve Gill from an undisclosed location in the United States of America.
I'm hydrating because it was hotter than hell in Nashville today. Hydrating.
What was the heat indices? You said 100 and
109.
Something? Oh, lovely. Well, we're growing mushrooms here in Columbus because we had so much rain. We had some severe weather. We had a derecho pass through here 2 days ago. It was scary. They call it a derecho.
Derecho?
A derecho. You come on now. You've heard that, right? Weather terms.
I'm a weather guy, but I've never heard of a derecho.
So a derecho is a bunch of thunderstorms that form together like a big blob.
Yeah.
And they stay together for several hundred miles, and they have a lot of wind, and they have a lot of stuff within them, hail, maybe even a spin up tornado, and that's what happened the last several days here between Chicago and Ohio. They roll through, and Tuesday morning here, I'll tell you, I was at school, and it caught a lot of our attention. I swear it looked like it was nighttime here in Ohio. It was 10 o'clock in the morning, and you would have thought it was night. It was so dark. And then the rains came, and then the wind came later. They were calling for 70 to 80 mile per hour wind gusts. Well, Columbus, the airport, had a wind of 83, I think, miles per hour. Wow. And they determined today along the interstate right through the heart of Columbus, where a car got overturned, there was a small tornado that spun up. Yeah, 85 to 100 mile per hour winds. And they had straight line winds up in Upper Arlington, which is where Ohio State's at, of over 100 miles themselves. So it was a big boom, bam group of storms. We actually had like 2 or 3 rounds that day. So we've had our share of rain. We'll send them to your way down in Nashville.
I'd love it. And speaking of wind, let's talk about the Browns.
We have a preseason game.
Saturday.
Yeah.
1 o'clock.
Are we going to do a preseason? I guess. Are we going to do a preseason or a pregame?
Not for preseason. I don't think we need to.
Well, all right. So we're going to skip the preseason pregame. We might do a postgame, but so yeah, the game Saturday. Talk to me about what's going on with the quarterbacks with George Sanders and Deshaun Watson, your favorite player, who earlier in the week, or last week, actually Friday, when we did our show on Friday afternoon, Steve proclaimed that it would be a waste of time to go with Deshaun Watson. Thank you for all those of you who watched that little video clip.
Waste of time during the season. I also said he'd start game 1 in Chicago because it's logical.
Yes.
And I base all my opinions on logic.
So logically, the fact that a lot of talk today is that he's starting today or starting this week.
You get to see him first game out. Then you can make your decision if he's got anything left. Here's a hint. He doesn't. So, and you get it out of the way. You tear the Band-Aid off. I'm a tear the Band-Aid off kind of guy. And also you've got film.
Yeah.
For his next team.
Yeah.
When he gets cut in 2027. So it makes sense.
What about the people today that are saying because he's starting in week 1, obviously Todd Monken knows that Deshaun Watson is going to start in week 1 of the regular season. That's just going to happen.
He wants to see him in live game action. He wants to see both of them. That's why he said Sanders would start game 2. He wants to see them both in live game actions. Deep down, does he know who he's going to start in Jacksonville? Maybe. Possibly.
Yeah.
But, once you form an opinion on something and you have an opportunity to take advantage of a situation to either change that opinion or affirm that opinion, you take it. So that's what he's going to do the first 2 games. And by the way, they're preseason games. I hate to tell everybody this, but they don't count.
There's a lot of those people out there in social media today who are just automatically saying, well, it's going to happen. Even some famous podcasters that win contests and have radio programs now, which we don't. But thank you again for listening to our program.
Yes, thank you very much. Look, Todd Monken's got to figure this out. And Monken is the guy who's going to decide. Nobody else. It's his decision. If he goes with Watson, well, let's see what happens. If he goes with Sanders, let's see what happens. If he goes with Dylan Gabriel, let's see what happens.
Well, and that's
the only guy I would leave out of that is Taylor Green. He's not going to start.
So the fact that Deshaun Watson is starting in this game against Chicago means then that Shedeur Sanders will play. He'll be his backup. We'll get to see what he looks like.
He'll come in third quarter.
Yeah.
Watson will play the half unless something dramatic happens.
Yeah.
And then Sanders, and then we'll see Green, maybe Gabriel, and probably won't see Green in the fourth quarter. So boom, most of the starters will play unless they're like Carson Schlesinger and you're going to save him for the season. He could play if it was a real game week, but why bother? It's a preseason game. I mean, your objective is to work on your stuff and come out injury free. So
yeah. Well, now we've talked about we've mentioned this scenario for a week now or so. You actually speculated on it, 2 or 3 weeks ago when we were talking. And, the logic, like you said, Shedeur will start the second game. Obviously, the home fan base, we all have been talking about this too. I mean, like you've already said, it would be a waste of time with Watson starting the regular season. We want to see what we can get out of Shedeur or maybe Dylan Gabriel. So the fans are already set on that. And a lot of people are speculating that if Watson would have started this home preseason game, he would have been booed tremendously. And I'm certain, unless he comes out and wins the first 2 games of week 1 and 2, assuming that he's going to start those games, which I'm just saying that I don't agree with it, that if he wins those first 2 games of the regular season, then maybe things will feel differently by week 3 when they have their first home game. But I don't think that's going to happen. So I don't know. Talk to me a little bit about, like, you have an ear to the team. You have some information sometimes you hear, and we've talked about Shedeur, and you've talked about Shedeur a lot. I mean, he's come a long way, but he also has some issues, like with him passing the ball and stuff. What do you
he holds on to the ball way too long. Someone I know talked to some of the players, and they said it's hard to catch his passes.
Yeah.
They're kind of flat. They're wobbly. I mean, everybody shared that great catch by Isaiah Bond a couple days ago in training camp. But if you looked at the pass, it was a wounded duck.
Yeah.
So it just he doesn't get a good arc. I mean, the ball is supposed to, when it's thrown long, it's supposed to spiral downward.
Yeah.
With a point hitting the wide receiver, right where they're supposed to. It doesn't do that. And that's why some of the players on the Browns are saying it's very hard to catch. Plus,
some people have speculated that his passes in like the last day or 2 have been better, or like he's maybe not technically the pass itself, but his accuracy as far as leading the wide receivers on a route has gotten better. So his timing, that sort of thing, seems to have gotten better.
Well, he still can't get the team lined up on time, and he still holds on to the ball too long. I mean, that's great. He can throw a long ball, but right now it's touch football. It's not tackle football.
Well, I guess that's the
So,
other part of this when the lights come on, right? Like you and I have talked about this part too, that there were some shining moments in Shador's past when in even in games last season where the Browns did win 3 games, and no, he did not look great, but there were moments where he made things happen because of who he was and what type of player he is, and that's I think the part that a lot of Browns fans are holding on to. Like, this is practice. I want to see what it looks like when they play a real preseason game, like we've been talking about. So,
well, Chicago isn't going to start any of their ones.
yeah,
So by the time Shador gets in there, he's playing against guys who are probably going to play in alternate leagues next year. Who
right.
won't be on any team. Some may make the practice squad. So you can't really judge it on that. I mean, last year he had one great preseason game, then he comes out and lays an egg against third and fourth teamers with the
Yeah,
Rams, who didn't even bring all their team across the country for
yeah,
that third preseason game.
yeah,
And everybody
yeah,
says, well, he had a terrible offensive line. Well, all
yeah,
the quarterbacks had a terrible offensive
yeah.
line. So I'm not concerned about the quarterback. I'm really not. This is a below average quarterback room. I've said this for the last 2 shows we've been on, John. It is a below average quarterback room. I don't know why the media keeps hyping it like it's some extraordinary, epic battle between Deshaun Watson and Shador Sanders. No, it's a lesser of 2 evils. It's pick the guy who is not as bad as the other guy. And that's what this is right now. My only concern is I want them to get the right guard on the offensive line settled, so the offensive line could have cohesion. That's the big question mark. Hopefully, Tavon Jenkins takes it and runs.
That's what I was asking. Yeah.
They just signed a guy who offensive lineman, can't think of his name, but he can play tackle and guard. They're pretty much set everywhere else. Titus Howard and Elton Jenkins and Fano is just Jared Verse admitted to the media that he's pushing him. He's pushing him a lot. He's pushing him so it could bring out the best in him. And, people will say, well, he was better than Myles Garrett. Well, Myles Garrett tried that with Jared Wills, and he just didn't listen. So this is what a veteran can do. They've been going through some injury problems on the defensive tackle. They didn't sign anybody. They hadn't even brought in any new defensive tackles. They brought in our old friend Desarius Smith today, who retired last October. I think it would be a great signing. I really think that's the kind of guy you want.
Who did we miss out on last week? Who was the kid he went back to Texas? The Texans.
I know you're talking.
I get the 2 of them mixed up. I know we just talked about Zadarius Smith, but there was another guy that we had.
And they work out people every day. They signed a corner.
Well, I'm writing an article about a corner because the corner is this hotspot. They had an article discussing players that could be on the trade block for now going into the season, and they listed players from every NFL team. For the Browns, they listed Dylan Gabriel. Now, for the Green Bay Packers, they listed Carnington Valentine, who's a corner. So take a look at him sometime. I'm writing an article for Dog Pound Daily. Check that out sometime here in the next couple of days.
But they signed a tight end. That's who they signed. He played at Ole Miss. I like it.
The kid that they drafted, or
Royer. You might as well just forget about him.
What was his name again?
Joe Royer.
Joey Royer.
Cincinnati.
Was he the kid from Cincinnati?
Yeah, I'd forget about him.
Troublemaker. Yeah.
Well, he's not a troublemaker. He's going through personal issues. So I got a feeling the kid from BYU is trying to do everything he can. He's a good tight end, not a great fullback. So I don't know how that's going to hang out. I mean, they do need another second team tight end.
Yeah.
They haven't really worked out any defensive tackles, so they must feel that everybody's going to come back. Michael Hall, apparently the reason he hasn't practiced is somebody poked him in the eye. And
Okay.
he came back out and played, but then they noticed that it was bleeding a little bit below the eye, and that's when they took him out. So he's
Okay.
been healing from that. So, and they must feel good about Malik Collins
Well, they
being
were
ready
even
for the season. So I would, and they, again, a couple corners.
well jumping back to the
Andrew
corner thing
Berry
because
loves filling that cornerback
well the
role.
corner spot that they were speculating. I know on some others podcasts today. With that the fact that we've got two pretty solid corners in Denzel Ward and Tyson Campbell, but
Yep.
besides that, it's a real hodgepodge of things, and we got these injuries now, and they were speculating who's going to start in the preseason game on Saturday.
Well,
They
we know
mentioned a
one's
couple
going to
guys.
probably Ivy, Harden, who's
Harden,
having a
yeah,
good.
Harden was mentioned,
He's
but
having a
yeah,
good camp.
yeah,
He really is having a good camp. So you're probably going to get a bunch of third team cornerbacks for the
yeah.
Bears. But then again, their starting quarterback isn't playing. So
Well, look up this Carnington Valentine or
all
Valentine
right, I
Carnington.
will.
Yeah,
I missed that.
his contract he's going into his last year of his rookie contract, and I think the trade would save Green Bay like I want to say like $2 or $3 million maybe. So I thought that would be an attractive in my mind, knowing Andrew Berry and how he tries to find players maybe that are coming out of ending contracts and looking at a second contract that might be appealing. So that's what I'm writing about. So
And also
um
remember
yeah.
when cut down day comes, there are going to be a lot of good players available. And Andrew Berry will do a little discount shopping.
You think somebody like a Nick Chubb sitting out there at the running back position still wants to get in the league? Do you think anybody will pick him up before the season starts?
I don't know.
Hmm.
I really don't. I don't think so. There haven't been a
Yeah.
lot of running back injuries. I know the
Hmm.
Browns are happy with the three they got now.
Hmm.
They're very happy with Rocket Sanders.
Hmm.
And then Dylan Sampson shows that he can run the ball besides catch the ball. And of course, Quinton Junkins is just going to be phenomenal this
Yeah.
year.
Barring injury, knock on wood, none of these guys get hurt.
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood. Um, no, I think I wrote an article this week that's up right now for Doug from Daily about, you talked about Jared Verse earlier and his adapting to Cleveland and helping, players like Spencer Fanow out and getting the scuffles with Spencer Fanow. Um, Looking really good, really, really good. I'm anxious. I think a lot of us are anxious to see how he helps this defense because I agree with you. I still think that this Browns defense could be pretty good. I'm a little nervous about the corner position right now because of all these little injuries and because we're relying on someone like a Denzel Ward who I love, but he's had a habit of concussions and things like that over the many years.
Well, you got to remember the secondary is going to be a three safety look. Right now, they haven't re-signed Ronnie Hickman or extended him
Yeah, I've
because
been waiting. Yeah.
They're waiting to see what he can do in these preseason games.
Uh-huh.
Andrew Berry has extended guys late in the season, JOK, Grant Delpit,
Mm-hmm.
after they started strong. So they're waiting to see what he can provide them. They're
Yeah.
asking him to do a little more coverage,
Yeah.
and they're also asking him to do a little more blitzing, which
Yeah.
I like.
Well, hey, Steve, let's pause for a quick commercial break and then we'll continue talking about this next preseason game as the Browns prepare to play the Bears on Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock in Chicago. We'll be right back. Hey, thank you for coming back to the Fanatical Elves show, part of the Fanatical Elves network. We are fans just like you. We appreciate you. Steve Gill's got his Dog Pound South show that he comes on Sundays, and you also have a blog that you just came out. You have a regular blog that you post on social media,
Yep.
which has got a lot of good information. Steve's got his ear to,
Dogpoundsouth.net.
and want to give a shout out to our friends at Hemisphere Coffee Roasters. They shake the hand of the coffee farmer, and also Sherry's Licorice. We got a good deal for you. I'm going to try to find that here. Again, we just started up a new sponsorship with Sherry's Licorice, amazing stuff. I was talking to our colleague Rod Bloom. Rod, who does the Browns Blitz coming on after us, and his brother Jeff. Rod told me last night that he ordered from Sherry's Licorice and took advantage of the. We have a 15% discount. I'm going to bring that code up so you guys can see that. If you purchase $25 or more of their amazing licorice, you can get a 15% off and support us here at the Fanatical Elves Network as well. I'm trying to find the old so people can see it. And now I can't find it, of course, but it's 15% off if you go Elves Network 15. So it's ELFZ Network 15. So if you put that in at the end of your purchase, you will get 15% off that order. And Steve, Rod said he tried the cherry flavored last night, and his wife loves it. Our contestant who won the licorice a couple weeks ago, he said he emptied his bag very quickly. It was gone. This is again one of the bags. I've been trying not to, but it's very tempting. It sits right here next to me. I've had about half the bag, but they have blue raspberry, they have cinnamon, they have watermelon, all sorts of great things. So check them out at sherryslicorice.com. Also, hemispherecoffeeroasters.com. Okay. Any final thoughts here on the game coming up? It's something where, we've done all these training camps now. We've talked about Todd Monken. What are you kind of excited about building up to this game? I know it's just the first preseason game. There's going to be a lot of mistakes. I would like to see not a lot of penalties. I know we've had problems in the offense.
Well, you're going to see a lot of penalties. I mean, it's the first preseason game. It happens. Probably, hopefully, mostly in the second half.
Yes.
Okay. If it doesn't happen in the first half, that'll make me happy. I'm going to be watching the offensive line very closely. Mm-hmm. I just like turning on the TV and seeing Browns uniforms. I don't know why, but I do. It's that tells me season's about to start. We will either curse or jump for joy. So yeah, the first time out on TV, it's nice. It's fun.
Well, for you and me, I don't know about for you, but for me, I mean, I immediately
when you don't live in Cleveland, it's really nice to turn on the TV and see the Cleveland Browns. People in Cleveland don't understand that. They see it all in the news and the papers and on social media, local, and but when you live out of town, it's just really nice to turn on TV and see your favorite team.
It's one of the reasons why we have such a strong Browns backer in the United States, across the globe. In Wichita, where I was the president there, the Oz chapter of the Browns backers. And it's exactly what you said, because it's a chance for people who are maybe from Ohio, from Cleveland area, get together and reminisce and create new friendships. And it's something that's it's not completely unique to being an NFL fan and supporting your team. But let me tell you, and you know this as well as I do, Steve, if you do live out of the state and you don't live in Cleveland and you're part of these Brownbackers groups, when you go to these bars and different places, there aren't other NFL teams. There are a smattering of teams like Green Bay, maybe, and some other groups, but Cleveland Browns fans, they are united. And it's something that's so special to this fan base. And people in the Browns, people of Browns fandom understand that. I think other people outside of who are not Browns fans who see it, I think they respect that part. I think that they know, especially if you're a sports person, you recognize it. So that's pretty cool. But it's going to be exciting. I mean, I remember those days like you probably remember when you were younger and went to the games at the old municipal stadium, and that's sort of my memory immediately. You go back to that. Seeing these games on TV, it's that first moment when you walked into the municipal stadium, you walked up the bleachers, you walked out you saw the
walked
field.
Up the ramp.
Yeah. And you saw that green grass. I know the old show, what is there? They were working with us for a little bit, and I apologize. I forgot the name of there's a Gleam program. I know the John from their show was mentioning that same feeling, like when he was a kid walking, like you just said, walking up if you're familiar with the old municipal stadium, you had those ramps that walked over basically this thousands of people that were below you. So, and you were like in an open area. It really gave you a unique feel. And then you'd walk out and you were there. It was a giant stadium with this field that seemed not so big. When you see it on TV, the green grass, it just seems so big. But when you actually see these fields, it's like, oh, that feels not as big sometimes as you might imagine when you see
Well,
it.
after they came back, one weekend, my wife and I and another couple drove up to Cleveland, stayed out at the hotel out in the airport.
Yeah.
And the first thing was, as soon as we got through the gates, and there was, of course, a long line for the Italian sausage and the food.
Yeah.
I just ran up the ramp because I had not been there since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I ran up on the ramp and just looked at that field. That we were in the dog pound, and I looked over and I just went, yeah, I'm back, man.
Oh, that's wonderful.
It's just a great feeling. Of course, the next year we went with another couple, witnessed a marriage in the dog pound at halftime, signed it. My friend and I actually signed the bride was lovely in a skirt made of, had little Browns helmets, and the groom was in a camouflage hunting outfit. But because it was freaking cold. It was like 22 degrees. But yeah.
Well,
you get memories like that. And thanks for the segue. I want to remind everybody, if you're coming to Nashville to watch the Browns Titans, go to the Middle Tennessee Browns Backers Facebook page, Twitter page. Mm-hmm. They've got all the itinerary set up, all the activities set up from Saturday night, day before game, to party buses that'll take you around Nashville, to a tailgate party day of the game. Just so go to the Middle Tennessee Browns Backers social media pages and take a look. And if there's something you want to do, click on it. Let them know.
I would be there myself.
They don't have tickets, though. The Titans are getting stingy with their tickets. You got to buy your own tickets.
I would be down there with you, Steve, if I could, but we're actually
at that point in the season, they may be giving them away. So you never know.
I'll be in Wichita with the Browns backers out there, the Oz chapter. That's the weekend that we're going out to Kansas to visit family and friends. So I'll be watching from afar and looking forward to that.
I'll be at the Saturday night party.
Excellent.
The night before. It's not that far from my house.
If you listen to us,
everything is 10
minutes. Here on
minutes.
YouTube or the X or Facebook, Steve Gill, the famous Steve Gill, will be.
I'll be there Saturday night. My wife and I will be there Saturday night.
Excellent. All right. What else, Steve? I'm thinking what else what have we missed tonight?
I don't think we've missed anything.
I think we've pretty covered our
quarterback.
bases.
We didn't go in depth about cadence, thank God. That seems to be the new bugaboo.
Do you think to be fair, on the cadence, to be fair on the cadence.
Sorry, that's a letter. That's a Letterkenny thing. To be fair,
because it is a new system, right? Todd Monk, it's a new coach, new offensive system. So I'm going to give everybody sort of not a pass, but it is a new system, and I'm just saying that just because I'm trying to give these guys some opportunity. But it is a problem, and I hope it doesn't rear its ugly head as we get into the season, be it Deshaun Watson or Shedeur, who's ever behind center. Well, let me ask you this, going back to the whole quarterback talk too. If Deshaun Watson starts, some people are speculating that he'll start the season, but the reason primarily that Monken's going to do that is to give Shedeur more time, and that he'll naturally then move Shedeur into that spot by week 6 or 7 or 8, and then he'll run the rest of the season. Do you see that as a more plausible?
The head coach of the Cleveland Browns, Todd Monken, wants to win as many games as humanly possible. He has said that. I believe him completely, because he doesn't beat around the bush on anything.
Yes.
The guy he puts out there
Yeah.
week one
Yeah.
will be the guy that he and his entire coaching staff
Yes.
feel give the Browns the best opportunity to win the most games they can in 2026.
Yeah.
Ain't no sugarcoating. There's no deep, dark secret lurking in the closet. He just wants to win games.
Let me ask you this though. What was your, I mean,
He
when
threw a
his,
walkie-talkie across the training center when they kept doing pre-snap
really?
penalties. Yeah.
Okay.
He shut it down. He threw the walkie-talkie. He apologized to the team the next day.
Yeah.
But like he said there's no excuse for shitty football. Direct quote. And I agree with him.
His explanation, some people have talked about after the practice last week where he went with Deshaun Watson. He tried his explanation, and I wanted your thoughts on this, and I know you probably what I suspect you'll say, but you know how you say that Munkin is like a no heart. He doesn't hold anything back. He's an old fart. He's going to say it how it is. So when they questioned him about how he changed his mind, his explanation to the media included, he said that the guys came up to him, and you even said this at the when we had our show the other time, said something about how Shador had so many practices in pads, and that Deshaun only
Yeah,
had
Mary
one.
Kay got him to say that.
And then he made the decision. Some people have said that doesn't sound like Munkin, like genuine Munkin, like he wouldn't say that, and it sounded contrite and sort of like he was forced to say something like that. And it wasn't.
Oh my God.
So is that reading too much into it?
That's reading way too much into it. Nobody going to force Todd Monken to say anything. Todd Monken's going to say what Todd Monken means. Have we not learned that by now?
Well, I gotta get. I mean, Monk. I mean,
he's not going to
who deals
philosophize. He's going to tell you exactly how he feels.
Between Mary Kay Cabot and Tony Rizzo, I don't think you can get like it's bad. Like they are just
opinions, John. It's just speculation and opinions.
Yeah,
and they're just trying to make money because people click on it and retweet it, and and that makes Tony Rizzo and Mary Kay happy because they make more money.
Yeah,
because they know Browns fans, when it comes to a quarterback, they are adamant about.
I'll say this though, and I have all respect for these people, and I know like they do like I'm making fun of them, but they've been in this business far longer than me. So I've been in that locker room, and I've stood right next to Tony Grossi and Mary Kay, and I respect what they do, but I like when we talk about this social media stuff, and like you've been blocked by Mary Kay in the past. It blows my mind because in social media they are like Tony Grossi now. He'll say some things in social media that are just really like he was bragging about the number of blocks that he has a number he threw out. Like, I've blocked so many people and I'm keeping track of this. And I'm like, that is really just I mean, I know we're on social
pretty
media,
pathetic.
but it's
really
pretty pathetic. Yeah, it's
it
like,
is very
dude,
pathetic.
like, I mean, I think that's part of the reason
you can't even take criticism. Yeah, I've seen some of the things that people have written about the Tony, and then he goes, "Oh, you're blocked." I mean,
well, and I've listened to that guy for years, going back
to
when I was living in Kansas, and I have a lot of respect for these folks, but now I can't even listen to either one of them, and I can't listen to them ask questions at these press conferences. It's just difficult. They're just spinning and spinning and like you said, throwing out crap that other people they know they're dumbing everything down for the Browns.
Of course they are.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Well, I think we've dumbed it down enough here.
No, John. We have enlightened people.
Yes. Well, we do. Listen, folks. We know that Steve and I and Rod, these folks with our Fanatical Elfz network, they do a hell of a job, and I would appreciate all of you to go out there if you haven't subscribed to us on any of these platforms like YouTube or Facebook. I was telling Steve our little clip we did last week where Steve announced that Deshaun Watson, or starting him, for the season would be kind of a waste of time.
It would be.
The Facebook reel got really famous, so we're very thankful for that. It's a hit and miss with certain things that we put out there. We appreciate all of you though listening to us. If you listen to us regularly on Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, anywhere you listen to your podcast, we're there, and we appreciate you just spending some time with us. We know you can listen to other podcasts, but we're the most beautiful people out there. We have the prettiest faces, and we have the best voices. So you want to come over to us, right? Isn't that true, Steve?
Excuse me, prettiest
Hey,
face.
shout out. By the way, I just want to give a shout
I
out to
don't
my
know.
my colleagues and the students
If
today.
my wife was sitting here next to me,
Your
then
beautiful wife,
yes,
yes,
we would have the prettiest faces on.
that would be wonderful. Well, she can always make a guest appearance if she'd like to.
She has
Like
in the
to.
past.
Yes.
I can have her on a show once before the season starts. Tell you what it's really like to be a Browns fan.
I'd love that.
Because, like I've always said, she's a Browns fan by default, and it's my fault.
Yes.
That's what she tells people.
Hey, shout out to all my, like I said, my friends, colleagues, and my students there over at Licking Heights. Today they started, our freshmen today at the high school did a really great job there at the school, and then we're real proud of them. Steve, this is year 35 for me as an educator.
Wow.
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 I know you've done your job for many years too. So
I've been a self-employed accountant this is my 35th year. I used to work for my father, and then I worked for my mother, who both were accountants. But as my own boss, so
Steve is smart. I'm not, but that's okay.
Well, it depends on what you define as smart. I don't work. I don't get paid.
That's right.
Ain't no sick days.
No,
you're self-employed.
I have 6 weeks vacation in the summer, and people are jealous of that. So
don't.
I'm an educator. You know that Tracy Morgan? What an idiot! A couple months ago, do you remember the old? He's a comedian, and Tracy Morgan. Then he's been out on he's movies and stuff. He was coming. Did you see that whole thing where he was putting down educators and teachers and just saying that it's not a good profession and they're lazy, and so I don't like those.
Glad I didn't.
No, you should. Yeah, I was very disappointed. I won't if there's a Tracy Morgan or something show that's on that comes on the screen, I will turn it off because I don't have a lot of time for that anymore. But we hope you come back. Watch the game Saturday, preseason game. The Browns are going to be battling the Chicago Bears, soon to be the Indiana Bears.
No, they're not going to change the name.
I know.
Whatever.
But they are going to play at Indiana, right? That is.
I get that feeling. Yeah.
Yeah. That's going to be interesting. Maybe Browns fans will become Bears fans because it'll be closer.
Too bad they didn't have like a Modell rule in Illinois.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoops.
Well, we get to see Deshaun start the game.
Yep.
Shador will play the second half. Will we see Dylan Gabriel come in toward the end, maybe?
I hope so.
Yeah. And then game
probably
2.
Fourth quarter.
What do you like? Some people have said before we leave here that, with the game against Buffalo, we've talked about this already too, that it's going to be a scrimmage together. They're going to spend the week together. And that if we see that Deshaun Watson is leading the team in the scrimmages prior to the preseason game, that would be another indicator.
Well, if he's going to play Sanders, he's going to start Sanders in the scrimmages.
You would think so, but people are speculating on social media that,
here's what people speculate. People speculate that this is an epic battle. Remember, everybody, this quarterback room is average at best right now.
We just want to see Browns
watching
win football
college football this year because that's probably where your next quarterback messiah is going to come from. One of these kids in college, because what I'm hearing, unless somebody has
I want to give him this. I want to give him the chance to see what he does when the lights are brightest and he's playing in these games on Sunday. And if he continues to throw the ball poorly and he doesn't have good
footwork, and he'll hold on to the ball too.
Well, and if that's the case, then I'd like to, at least I think that's what Browns fans want to just see and make up their minds themselves.
Hey, look, I'm not a biggest fan, but if he emerges as above average quarterback in 2026. Then that saves the Browns the trouble of having to draft an unknown in the first round, because that is the biggest roll of dice in drafting in the NFL is quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So if they can find their quarterback this year, I would be perfectly happy, because they're going to have 11 picks. They're going to have about $190 million to spend. They could make a huge jump next year if they can have their quarterback playing this year. But it ain't Deshaun Watson.
Steve, have a very good night. Say goodbye to your fans. Good night, everybody.
Goodbye, fans. Good night, John. Go Browns.
Here we go, Brownies. Here we go. Talk to everybody soon. Watch the preseason game.
Woo.